August 6th, 2020. Well, that 1.5 inches of rain we got a couple days ago is actually taking off the irrigation pressure for me, and I'm finally making some ground again. Also, cover crops are coming in well. Buckwheat is in good. That last planting of bodacious sweet corn is up. Probably hit that with another foliar feed tonight. Got some mowing in finally, because now I don't have to worry about it burning off immediately the next day. So now I can collect up some mulch out of here. So that'll be good. And more out over there. Got the chicken tractor moved again. Fresh water, fresh feed, they're very happy. Corn crops and cover crops doing really well since we had that rain. And of course foliar feeds and inoculants helped also. Those sunflowers in this outside edge row are coming up like crazy, starting to blow up. Buckwheat is already starting to throw some flowers, and the Incredible and Silver Queen sweet corn are cranking also. And I just want to point out while we're here, notice the slight reduction in this area in here, and that is the shading from that big cedar tree. That blocks a tremendous amount of light, so we're going to be trimming up the bottom of that a good bit. I've thought about dropping the tree, but I really do like that tree, and it's a big beautiful old cedar, so I'm going to trim up a little higher and save it. Plus that's a nice tall strong tree for HF antennas, so we don't want to wipe those out, do we? Let's take a look at the other crops here. Last two plantings of sweet corn are doing pretty well. We got a little bit of wind damage in here, knocked things over a bit with that storm, but they're standing back up. Nothing horrible, so we actually made out pretty well considering. Incredible sweet corn is popping into tassel now and throwing silks. That's exciting to see. That'll be the next stage of harvesting sweet corn. These sunflowers have absolutely blown up in the last week or so. They've doubled or tripled in height in that time. These silks are starting to show a little bit of brown. We're going to have a sweet corn harvest here in another week or so, maybe 2, I would think. That's happening pretty quickly. Looks like we might have somebody in here munching. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, we definitely got somebody in here munching. I almost wonder if that's the woodchuck that comes out of down there. I'll have to mow that too. Anyway, it's all doing real well, and I don't want this video to end up being too long. So, this is an old block that I had in well, blue corn, and then tomatoes, and I don't know, several other successions of crops. The last crops that were here were tomatoes, and they had a huge infrastructure here, system here, that collapsed, and then I rebuilt it because the tomato load was so heavy on it that year. So here we are, post-repair, no pun intended. 12-foot braces in place. The lawn tractor had no traction for pulling this. I had to put the truck on it in 4 low, and I had to get my 8,000-pound test rope out and hook to it, and pull everything back straight, and then brace it up, lock it in, and then let the tension off. So now that that's all up, you can probably appreciate a little bit better how many tomatoes are actually in here. I've been harvesting these pretty regular up until the last week or so when things have just been so crazy and the weather has been against me. And so I've ripped that infrastructure out and gotten rid of the posts that were starting to rot, and cleaned out rocks, drip tape, all that sort of stuff. Mowed this clean, and we're going to put this into cover crop, and we're going to expand another 10 feet or so that way on the far end to match this. So we'll be 60 long, and this whole area will be 60 by 60, I believe, all said and done. So 3,600 square feet. So that's a nice chunk. Real quick, I think I mentioned this in one of the other videos, but I'll mention it now in case I haven't. This has been planted into buckwheat, which I've been keeping my eye on, but I haven't necessarily seen germination on yet, although I think that's buckwheat germinating right there. That seed is sitting up on a stem. So good. So good timing on that. Put that down the day before the rain, irrigated it, inoculated it, and foliar fed it, and then we got 1.5 inches of rain on top of it the next day. Excellent germination conditions. Was very happy with that. In here, 3 strips of buckwheat and 2 strips of rye. The buckwheat is up and rocking. The rye I'm unsure on as of yet. I just don't know what germinating rye looks like, and I also don't see anything different than grass in here yet. But we'll give it time. We have time. The sunflower rows that are in here are up and taken off. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 2 foot in 6 rows down through here. I did wrap the border edge with orange Hawaiian marigold. Don't necessarily see any of those up, but we'll just see. They may or may not come up, and I'm not concerned about it. Main concept here is to cover crop this, eliminate the weeds, build the soils, and we'll put in some rye later in the season here, and then we'll have a cover crop on over the winter, building soil. And the plan in the spring is to roll this down with a roller crimper, which I'm going to have to build, and then plant directly through that. And then we have grown our mulch in place and not tilled our soil and preserved biology and moisture. And we do a lot less work to do that if we just roll it down than if we have to clear it, till it, you know, manage that soil after you till it to make it reasonable for planting and plant into it. Then you got to come back and move mulch back on top of it. I really like the idea of rolling right over. So we'll see how that works. But feels good to have this all cleared out and ready to go. I got the thatch rake down here. I'm going to suck up all the mulch that I get out of this, and then I'm going to start planting this. I'm going to try and coordinate that with the forecast again to get good germination conditions. I think I'm going to plant this into another planting of buckwheat to try and build soils, suppress weeds, and give us a late honey crop for the bees in case we have a late dearth. I want to see if I can provide another nectar and pollen source for them. So that's what's going on here. I also went through with the tractor last night and knocked out these little tree stump bushes that have been here for a long time. Been meaning to wipe those out for a long time, and I just hadn't gotten to it. I had the tractor out last night taking the poles away and stuff from this, so I just came down here and gave them a little scrub out. I'll go back with an axe and cut out the pieces that are left and rake that soil back in place. And now we got those out of the way. So, good progress here on the farm. Things are happening. Growth is doing really well since the rain and the foliar feeds, and I'm excited to have another awesome season. We're rocking. So, just a quick update. Hope you found this interesting or informative. If you have questions or comments, don't be afraid to do so down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching the Farm Seeds Network.